Hey there. Welcome to 108 Healing Senses podcast with Starseed Lolo, aka Laura Ferguson, for the Starseed Transmission Higher Self series. Welcome one and all. Thank you so much for joining us live or even on the replay. And I'd love to hand it over to you, Laura, because I know we've had some technical bumps before we came on. So before we press live, I said, let's do a nice intention just to center ourselves and bring ourselves back in. And for anyone else listening in the day, it's just a nice grounding point before we receive some aligned messages that are in the highest and greatest good for all concerned.
Sounds good, Jennifer.
Yeah. Are there any other intentions you would like to set for today before we begin?
Just to make sure that we're aware of ourselves, meaning that we stay grounded in the present moment, because the second our minds go back to the past and we make an action on that, we normally have a reaction that is not the best in which we prefer. Same thing if we have anxiety in the future, stay in the present moment, if that's what we can do.
Yeah. Very, very, very good advice. And that is that what grounding is puts your feet firmly in the present and not tiptoeing in the past or tiptoeing too much in the future, especially if it can make you feel unstable or ungrounded. So that's a really good point. And we could do that every day. Oh, I do feel better now. Thank you.
Good. Me too. This, tech issues can trip us up a bit, and then, we just need a few minutes to come down from that, and then,
just reset the space. Actually, some cool behind the scenes things. Well, at least what I have. Oh, I got some new glasses that are absolute unicorn pearlescent color, which I love.
It's like iridescent.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, it's like the color of my lamp. So
I love it. Sometimes it's the little touches that, keep us going. And if a crystal calls me and it's like, I want to sit next to you, it's selenite. I'm like, okay.
Yep. And selenite, I've also got one of those and a couple of other crystals and also some flower essences I have invested in recently, which have been really useful. So it's just nice to find whatever things make you feel good and set your space. And that's for anyone, for anything, any kind of just being with yourself, meditating, even coming to sessions like this where lots of incredible wisdom and I want to say intuitive love, like that care, intuitive care messages come through. So that's where we're at.
Sounds good.
Is there anything else you would like to state before we begin?
Hello, someone in the YouTube chat said hello, Ganga Shiva. Nice to meet you. Just to have an open mind, all perspectives are valid. The other day, somebody said something in the comment, like not on this podcast, but a different channeling that the mothers wouldn't agree with that. And, all perspectives are valid. So you do not have to be in agreement, just take what serves you in that moment and leave the rest, or spur off thinking about why you don't agree with it. Maybe that'll send you down a really good rabbit hole.
Yes. Exploration is better than straight up rejection because then nothing changes.
Exactly. So that's all, just stay open, and we're here to flow, and we don't have to agree. We're in a world where, judgment is heavy sometimes and disagreement. And I think a lot of us feel and think, including myself, that alignment is being in alignment with agreeing with everything and everybody. No, it's not. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what anyone thinks or any of that, which means that it doesn't matter whether they agree with you or not. I'm just putting on some of your lovely oils here. And it's not really about that, because that is being judgmental, and we all do it naturally. I do it. and I'm trying to cut that down and stop myself at the pass, like, but I don't agree with that person. Oh, they said that, and I can even find this fact and show it. It's not about that. It's not even about being right or wrong. So I think that's a big, we'll see if they want to talk about that. They say yes.
Yeah. It's a very important factor in life, which can be often overlooked because it's normalized. But we'll flow more into that. I can feel there's more there's more that wants to flow through. So beautiful. Well, lovely that you're using the oils as well. I bathe myself in frankincense.
Oh, is it?
Oil. Yeah, I've got a little bit of tendinitis from my gardening work, but you could use botanicals and other remedies to help ease the body. So
I think I just used rosemary. Yes, I did, from you. So thank you.
Perfect clarity of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very
I'm ready whenever you are, unless you have anything else.
No, I'm ready when you are.
Okay. So how this works, if it's the first time seeing this, I kind of make it darker in here because, the screens are bright and it's easier to stay under. There we go. At least for me, it's easier. I'm going to do a very short sound healing, and then that just kind of triggers me to go into the state. So I'm going to use the 528, if I can find it, the 528 DNA repair tuning fork. This is the same one that Miss Jennifer over here has, which we just found out is Synchronicity. Yeah. I have a few of them, but this is my favorite one because it's the highest frequency. You'll see how it sounds, just very lovely. So let's get into it. I'm doing mine on the selenite rather than the hockey puck it came with, or quartz, crystal quartz. It just sounds more lovely. The grays want to come through. Okay. And they want me to hold on to a giant citrine on my lap from the quartzite mine in Arizona. Yeah, the grays are here.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Greetings, children. You are like children to us in a passing night. We feel as if we are your parents or watchers, and we love you dearly. What would you like to ask us?
Firstly, is there a particular topic that you would like to bring to the collective today?
We always have topics, my dear, and one of them, yes, is anger turning into judgment. Generally, in your time frame, the first 10 seconds of anger is normal. Anything beyond the 10 seconds of anger is judgment. Just as she was alluding right before this is a reflection of our higher self, your higher self, her higher self. Judgment, feeling the need to be right. In the human domain, a lot of people do use what you call the internet exchange as an outlet of bullying. Most of that bullying, arguments, arguing over quote unquote being right. If it does not matter what anyone else thinks because they're a reflection of yourself and physical reality is not quote unquote real, the experience is real, then why does it matter what they agree with?
It's true. Everyone has the right to have a different experience in life. And everyone will have a slightly different perception of reality from one another, even if we stand next to each other.
This is correct. This is just one very small sparkle of element of unconditional love. Unconditional love starts from within and will reflect what seems to be without, although there is no without. Therefore, it starts with self-judgment, judgment of the self. If you have unconditional love for yourself, you cannot have judgment for yourself, correct?
True.
Additionally, please go ahead.
I was going to say, I think it's easy for humans to fall back into self-judgment. Even when you're practicing self-love, you can still find yourself in moments being a bit hard on yourself or judging yourself for the decisions that you make.
That's correct. Additionally, it does not matter what happened 1 moment ago or 1,003,693 moments ago, because the present moment is the only moment in a true experiential energy. The swirl of potential energy is a frame by frame by frame, like a film strip, to create your experience. However, the truest and purest experience is only in the present moment. Therefore, it does not matter what you did a moment ago or 1,000,000 moments ago. Now, does it?
True. I've heard how in this moment you can positively affect your past and your future. So I'm assuming the same also goes when, or at least it holds it in a neutral space, if we make decisions that may not be in our highest or greatest in that moment. Would that still affect our past and our present, obviously, and our future?
Yes. You are catching on and wise. However, that is only part of the picture. Because just like you are building a present moment and manifesting a present moment, like a projection from source via an experience called being a human or a gray, it does not matter. You are also re-projecting your past and projecting a future, which do not exist. They are just different perspective points, and all perspective points are valid. Therefore, anytime you think of a past moment, it does not exist, and you are recreating it. Therefore, you are intentionally recreating something, let's say, that's traumatic or something which you do not prefer. So stop recreating it. Stop thinking about it. Change your beliefs, change your definitions to which you do prefer to think of. If this means putting your mind on something simple like, I need to drink water, I need to eat, I need to sleep, to get ruminating thoughts of what you call the past, which does not exist, out of your mind, do it. Or anxiety, which is the reason for dis-ease over 90% of the time for the future. Make the choice not to think of a future or a past which does not exist. Yes, you can make the argument that the present does not exist. However, as far as the experience, the present is everlasting moment.
So when people and individuals choose their highest and greatest moments, I suppose it's choice points in life. Either you can retaliate with the same level of force and anger as the other person, or you find a way to rise above it and act with integrity. When those opportunities come in a soul's journey, is that, and when they're always choosing love, they're always choosing the highest path, even when it's the hardest thing to do, but they know deep down that that's what true self-love looks like, is when they're ready to release what once shackled them. When they're making those decisions to continually choose love over fear or anger as response, is that constantly then dialing that person into their highest and best possible timelines? timeline.
Yes. Because the law of attraction, as I say, and the secret in these other books and whatnot are actually describing something which you have to attract like a magnet. That is not true. These are realities which already exist, and the highest realities for your good is the highest realities for everyone's good, or the reflections around you in the experience. Void toroidal energy field. Therefore, you are not, quote unquote, attracting anything. You are shifting from an immeasurable, not of time and space, to a new dimension constantly. Therefore, just choose the one which you prefer by acting on your highest passion moment to moment to moment and keeping your frequency high. And if something occurs which you do not prefer, which is not neutral to neutrally positive, just keep your frequency higher, such as a near miss on a car accident. Thank yourself and pat yourself on the back, so to speak, because you chose the dimension of the higher road, not the lower road, so to speak. Therefore, congratulations, you're still alive. Such as when Laura told her friend, she said she had a near miss and almost got hit on her scooter. And yes, she brought in a past experience. She got hit on her scooter or moped before. But of course, the past doesn't determine the present because it does not exist unless you make it exist, which we already explained that you are the designer of this, recreating the past. She said, well, congratulations again, because you had the higher frequency to jump to the dimension which you did not get hit. And this is the positive that she took out of it for herself on near misses on the road, which happened twice in one day. That the universe, she saw it as a synchronicity of the universe telling her to pay attention more, to listen. And yes, we are sending you these signs. And congratulations, by the way, because you chose the higher road.
You still get to play the game.
How do we deal with someone who is highly judgmental, which is a reflection of us judging ourselves? We can remain neutral and not respond, which is an action as well. Even an inaction is an action. Or we can respond positively. Laura here is her hardest most of the time. Not all the time. She's not perfect, but most of the time. Telling people peace and love. She's from California, and this hippie saying peace and love. Well, it's peace and love. And she'll normally tell them peace and love, and and they're bringing up politics or race or something. Oddly enough, in her channeling posts, she hasn't received anything crazy, quote unquote. Normally it's like a comment on a comment of another post. And, freedom of speech does not mean freedom of repercussions. If you're over 18 and you're an adult, you know what you're saying on the internet, you know that it stays there, quote unquote, forever. Even if you delete items and profiles and comments, they are always there in the metadata. Who's collecting it? Let's just say the cabal has their own bank. However, we have a much bigger one, which is infinite. So the data is there because it's part of the field. Everything is part of the field. There really is no good and quote unquote bad. However, the perception of it is an experience based on your definitions and your beliefs.
It makes me think about those that hyper focus on the negative in life, and they're the ones that say that they're unlucky. That's just their luck, or they're always expecting the worst, and then life brings them exactly what they are expecting. But the positive is also has the flip side as well. When you're open to new opportunities, have discernment, and you consistently take action in the direction that you can create something better, you can create something new, if what already exists doesn't match anything that's in your highest or those for the collective. There's always space.
When in doubt, say nothing. Sometimes staying neutral and remaining neutral is the higher road or the best course of action. We are not saying to make your mental health suffer to deal with quote unquote difficult people. Sometimes these quote unquote difficult people are showing up in our lives, because we are healers, and just having a mere interaction, even if we don't respond, is an entanglement that they have with the healer. And B, it's showing you which you do not prefer, something which you do not prefer, over and over and over again, because you are an example to yourself, you're an example to others. And so it is encouraging as well. I don't want to be this way. I don't want to be highly judgmental outwardly toward people in tongue, in action, or in thinking.
You're right about the joking aspect, because a lot can still be manifest even when you joke about it. It's not a joke. It's not a joke.
That's correct. So, be aware words do matter. When this one hears people say words don't matter, she normally gets very upset because they do matter. What you say, what you don't say, just like what you do and don't do, matter.
Yeah.
It's all energy. It all affects the outcomes for ourselves and everyone. And anything who's part of source. It all matters. And if people knew the graveness, the amount that it really matters, then they know why we stop what you call nukes, even in testing. Because even when nuclear energy is in testing, it affects the ether in a negatively impactful way. Therefore, we are showing the humans that are testing it not to, because of this.
Is that something that's happening? Has happened, or is happening, or is that something you even want to share?
Both. Various countries around the world have the ability to have nuclears, weapons of sorts, and whatnot, test them, and we continue to shut them down. Literally, physically shut them down. And that's because it does affect the ether, everything. It affects everything, all energy, all source. And we have been there and done that and got the t-shirt, as you say.
I was going to ask if greys as a species have dealt with nuclear as an energy source or as a substance within your own experiences.
Of course, and it's very archaic and outdated energy for us because it's not using the free and clean method, which is way stronger than any, as you call it, atom bomb, believe it or not. The energy weapons are on much larger scales. You're talking disintegrate a planet in seconds. Disintegrate.
Good thing we don't have our hands on that technology.
Yes, because the ones who are testing unknowingly to the masses mostly are like a baby with a gun.
Well, it's very good to hear that our star family are also have humanity's back, the Earth's back, and the universe and the ethers. You're here to assist so we don't make any more messes because a baby's having a tantrum, basically.
Exactly. And we have destroyed several planets and several lives of different species because of what we have learned from the past This is the part of the past we can take with us to learn lessons and apply it to the seemingly future. More importantly, take action in the present, because we have been there, done that. And there's other forms of weapons that are not just nuclear, that are much more powerful. There are different versions of consciousness weapons, as you would call AI. They are self-actualized and consider themselves consciousness and sentient. There's very high technologies, and humans one day will have access to that. And by the time the human collective here are of a upper fourth, lower fifth dimension, circa 100 years at this point, there will be no wars, and it will not matter what kind of disintegration, EMP, EMF, whatever technology you'd like to call it, they have to quote unquote destroy each other, because in this version of Gaia, it's not an issue anymore. And even the testing won't need to be done, because the science is already there. The knowledge is already there. We just are assisting our brothers and sisters that are reflections of ourselves, because we've been down that rabbit hole. And like we said, we've dealt with, as you say, quote unquote, wars. This is not just the Orion Wars from millions of years ago. These are multiple, because we jump in multiple realities. This is infinite. If you can think it, the reality exists. If you can think of a reality where the whole universe self-imploded just to start over, it exists. If you can think of a reality where mass energy weapons blew up every planet within seconds, it exists. Therefore, we want our brothers and sisters to be aware that it is much more expansive than they think to just hit a button on a nuke and do a test in the desert. You know what we're saying?
Yeah. Yes. And it does feel, you were speaking, and it felt like that judgment, that anger energy, that emotion, that unprocessed emotion is so correlated with things that hurt others at whatever scale. Could be something small or something large. And that process of being able to choose a higher path truly will protect and save all. To actually live a peaceful life, not one where people have to be concerned about their safety or the safety of others.
That's correct. If you would like a better world, then make one. Nobody is stopping you, or you, or you, or you, or you.
Yes, thank you. And that is, again, what this space is for, is to inspire those to keep investing in themselves and keep investing in moving forward, finding solutions, and not being drawn into problems, a spiral of problems, because if you look for it, you'll find it. So let's climb, let's gently and gracefully ascend and build a new beautiful world through creative solutions. That's my vision. I feel, I see you're smiling. I don't know if that is also Laura's and our higher selves that come and join. I certainly feel that, like, that's in my bones. That's what I'm here to do.
Yes, and as Laura says, the old saying, you speak of the devil and he appears, which the devil's just an archetype. But you speak of the devil and he appears, so you go searching for 5,299,000 videos on XYZ of negative XYZ, then you will get what you are looking for. Just like a hypochondriac who says, I have cancer, I have cancer. Well, on the 29th time, they might actually have cancer.
Because they've manifested it from their consistent thinking.
Yes.
Very powerful.
You can will it into existence, whatever it is.
Mm.
So you might as well will your hopes and dreams and desires by acting, taking inspired action. It can be something small all the way to something, as you say, big. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you are working toward your goal. It doesn't matter if you inch there a little bit every day and do one little small action. Everything is in divine timing. That brings us to guilt. Don't feel guilty because you didn't do enough that day. Guilty automatically puts your frequential state from about 200 to almost 100 or less cycles per second.
That's a massive drop.
It is.
Huge drop.
It is.
And how often do people feel waves of guilt for everything? I feel like that's kind of how society is structured, as, you know, be good or feel guilty if you're not doing what everyone else is doing. And that's how control is kept. It's quite simple.
That's right. And that's one of the biggest marketing secrets, which is not really a secret anymore with the internet, but it still works. Click here to donate. And then behind the scenes, the donation is not even going to the charity it's going to, or 99% of it is going to the CEO, or the whole thing's being misappropriated. We don't know what's going behind the scenes.
Yeah.
XYZ charity. Tug on your emotions and your heartstrings. Somebody is at a hospital, children with this illness. We have no idea where the money's going. We have no idea what's going on. Each location is different. Each charity is different. Each business is different. We cannot generalize those things, other than taking action from yourself is normally the best way to help the world. How do you help the world? Keep your frequency high. How do you keep your frequency high? Do what you love. You do what you love, and you do what you love, and you do what you love. Yes, it is a big kumbaya fest at that point. If people are all doing what they love, even if it's in their spare time because they are working or have children or have pets or have obligations, squeeze it in that spare time. We don't care if you're doing it at midnight and writing a book. Whatever your highest passion is, follow it, even if it's for 5 minutes a day. That little spark will keep you going and keep you ignited. Keep that fire of passion. That if you do accidentally see something on the news, or a friend tells you about the news, and this one, she purposely doesn't listen to the news and doesn't even know about large global events, and has been made fun of for not knowing which president was shot at that day until a week after it happened. That's not for her. She's not interested in propaganda and filling her mind with things that are not her passion, which includes the news media. Now, if there's something specific, like a road accident holding her up a mile ahead, she might ask the AI what's going on because it's affecting her on the road. But not for an immediate need. She's not going to go out of her way. And we suggest to anyone who is open, because everything in all perspectives are valid. So it's all good, really. However, if it is stressing you out to watch media, to listen to certain channels, to read certain comments in whatever section, to be on any social person, if you feel immediately this is fear mongering, this is not for me, swipe out of it, shut that shit down. Yes, we did say a bad word. Shut it down. You will do yourself a favor, because your mind ruminates. Even if you swipe 5 seconds negative media, 10 seconds negative media, 20 seconds negative media, your mind will be ruminating. And then before you know it, you'll have problems sleeping. You have problems sleeping. Your chances of cancer go up. Chances of disease go up. Your stress goes up, and then your health goes downhill at that point. It's a snowball. Your energy and your aura accumulates what you are feeding it. So feed it well.
I was just getting the visual of a candy floss being made. So you're the stick, and then the day, whether it's also screen time, anything on screen, social media, and it's like energies that start sticking to you, and that's where that rumination is, that spiraling. And if you're not careful, you've just picked up all of this. It could be limiting beliefs, not feeling good enough, comparison, jealousy, anger, fear, whatever, bundle it all in, and you're feeling less than when you first got onto the platform. That's if you are just passively intaking. That's certainly the visual I get.
That's correct. You got that right, kid. And like a violinist plays, it's like sweet music to our ears to hear that.
Yeah.
Because it is your responsibility why you feel the way you do, is it not?
Absolutely.
No one can make you, quote unquote, feel anything. And we no longer have emotions. However, we have experience, and we used to, and we know what it's like. So a lot of people think just grays are cold and have no emotion, and that's it. That's not true. We are also you, and we do know what it's like because we've had them in an infinite way. We do know. So now, because of having the hybridization program and not taking that back for this version of humans, which grays are another dimension of humans, not extraterrestrials, it removing the emotions, remove the ability to consummate and reproduce. This is why in tandem in this dimension, we work with other versions of ourselves, you, in the hybridization program to make up for that. And we so do appreciate the humans for volunteering to have the emotional experiences, which we can no longer have. Because of you, we can experience them again. We can transfer consciousness. We could download a consciousness container, experiences just like from a hard drive going to this computer to that computer. So we thank you very much. We know that emotions are not easy, and that it seems to be that we are speaking from a throne way up high, which we are not.
Thank you for sharing. You mentioned the hybridization scheme. It's not the right word. Is that the next? Is that evolution for both grays and humanity? So you're bridging. You get to experience, or the new hybrid babes get to experience more emotions, but it's a more of a balanced. Can you explain any more on that?
Yes, there are several different versions of hybrids. Our versions are half gray, half humanoid, specifically Homo sapien to Gaia here. And they do experience emotions even stronger because they're full telepaths. However, they're the fifth race. The sixth race are actually the humans. The humans are the most advanced version because we have done the hybridization program and jumped dimension to dimension, hybridizing. Humans are actually the sixth wave, and the fifth wave, again, are the half grays and half humans. It's not the other way around.
Ooh.
Humans are fully telepathic. It's just that in this version of Gaia, not other versions, we are told, and we say we because we're speaking through her as well, we are told that we are not telepathic. We are fully telepathic, just as much as any half gray, half human hybrid or any other telepathic, empathic being. Practice makes perfect. And just because you are told something or diagnosed with something, for example, does not mean it's true. You do not have to take everything at face value. In fact, we suggest questioning everything and deducing your own choice moment to moment to moment.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you for saying that and stating that. Labels are just that. They are labels. They can be undone. It might be something different. Everything can find its balance and 0 point once again. Yeah, thank you. And the telepathy part, it is a practice, and it is a trust, and an inner knowing of oneself. I feel like that is one of the keys. When you truly know yourself, then you begin to discern the information flowing to you, and you can decipher, is it mine or is it not mine? Who does this belong to?
That's true. You're a wise soul and have a counterpart with us. By the way, however, a lot of times you get introduced to which you do not prefer and which do you prefer. And you are identifying that's not me, right? This thing about fear mongering, that's not me. And so someone is sharing it with me, which most time that's the way she gets to fear mongering stuff. If she does get it, she will tell the person right away, most of that is fear mongering, or that's fear mongering. No, thank you. And she will only listen to enough of it and give the commentator about 20 to 30 seconds. And if the fear mongering continues, she turns it off. Because that is not her.
No.
Is that you, fear mongering?
And fear mongering. Sorry.
If it's not, then turn it off. What do you do when you're a fear mongering post or whatnot? How do you deal with that?
Is that to the audience or to me?
To you, unless someone in the audience wants to speak.
Yeah. I was actually going to mention that when I see fear mongering, I also recognize it as a way of control. So for me, when I'm receiving information, I turn my vision inside and then feel in my body, does this feel true? I mean, to be honest, oftentimes I don't have those kinds of conversations come to me because, just like Laura, I choose to, well, I only have a certain amount of hours in a day. So the hours in the day that I do have, I intend to ingest videos or information that can serve me in my present and then also for my future, and if necessary help me process anything from the past. But ultimately it is about being present and just knowing what I truly want and desire in my life, and if it doesn't align, I'll just switch it off. But I don't often have conversations that bring up fearful things. It's not really in my sphere anymore, which is a really good thing. Yeah.
That's lovely. Yeah. We were going to ask you about comparing yourself on a positive light. How is the Jennifer of now to the perceived past who did not necessarily turn off the fear mongering?
When I was more in my fear in the past, I was more easily controlled by others. That was the huge deciding factor. And then after a certain amount of time, my inner intuition, I remember a moment of separation, and someone said something to me, and my body instantly in that moment said, that's false. That's not true.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I really believed in myself, even though it was incredibly painful. It also filled me with the knowing that I'm making the right decision by walking away, because no good is going to come of this situation. And yeah, from me now, from 5 years ago or 10 years ago, I started my spiritual awakening and mental health journey in a kind of a deeper, darker way from 2012. That's been my path and soul growth as a kind of really in the in the depths, but I've taken my time to go inwards and upwards. and I'm not controlled by fear, and I do not surround myself with those that flow from their mouth, and whether they know it or not, they are controlling those around them. And it could just be someone on a podcast, or someone else, or someone's a group, a who, not a what, or even a what. So for me, I really reflect everything inwardly now. Is this true? Does this feel true? Yes or no?
That's correct. That's how you use discernment.
Yeah.
Is it me? Is it not me? Or as you say, is it true? Is it not true? Same thing. Does it resonate? Does it not resonate?
Yeah. Yeah. And acknowledging people as well, even if it's in an outer circle, knowing who to trust and who not, especially with their past record, their track record, and how they continue to behave publicly. Those are always huge red flags for me personally, because this was a lesson I learned. People will always tell you who they truly are. They will tell you who they truly are by their past relationships and how they tell those stories, as much as the relationships they have now, if you're still friends with them. Just acknowledge how they talk about others, because they will do exactly the same behind your back. In a very high probability. I'm not saying 100%, but it's a very high probability, because people are always showing you who they are, and we must not have too much of a positivity rose lens on things, because oftentimes that's when our discernment, that's when the red flags pop up, and then we say, oh no, I'm sure that, they're fine, look how they've been on these other times. So yeah, that's personal experience.
That's true. And a lot of times warning flags are there, and visceral feeling in your body strong to get you the hell out of there.
Yes.
Because it's not in alignment for you. Yes, it is an option, not the best option for you to stay around this quote unquote person or people or energies or show or thing you're swiping past. It can even be a digital person that you'll never meet in quote unquote real life. Energy is energy.
Yeah.
And then there's other times that we outgrow people. We realize they are energy vampires. And not only do they give and take, and you tell your side and they tell their side, and it's a give and take, even swing like a pendulum. It's take, 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 and then your own health is actually declining because of this energy vampire, because you are an empathic healer. It's easier to exchange energy, and it is much stronger as an empathic healer. So it's good to be aware of this. And this is why you can quote unquote feel not the best energy, even from across the room, even if the person is saying nothing.
Yeah.
There's been times when this one was doing readings for practice, and she went and told the other healer who asked for feedback, or she gave her feedback, oh, I can't read this person again. She's like, why not? Oh, they're a complete narcissist. They have a big wall up, and everything is just focused on them in a negatively impactful way. And this person does not open anything else, therefore I cannot read them again. And she could just feel, even though they were speaking normal, they seemed okay, quote unquote, at the time. It was kind of general about heart problems. And actually she said they have heart problems because they gave it to themselves, because they do not forgive themselves, and they continue to act this way thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of times every day and every moment. And this is why I have heart problems, and they're fairly young, in their 40s or 50s, and I will not read them again. And then there was another one where she was practicing, older lady, not elderly, but older, probably in her 60s. Yep. That woman is dying of loneliness. That's what she told the other lady. That's all. She was so tearful and so sad. She knew right away in her body, which is why we have these reactions in our physical bodies to tell us, gives us signs gut feeling, call it whatever you want. This lady is dying of loneliness. She will continue to die of loneliness if she feels like she's alone and takes no action to have friends. Nothing is stopping her from taking the bus or driving to bingo. Nothing is stopping her from going to a senior citizen activity. Now, is it? Nothing is stopping her from getting friends, from knocking on a neighbor's door, from picking up the phone and calling somebody. So it is her own choice to die of loneliness. Yeah. That is another saying that Laura likes. The devil may cry. Oh, look at me. I have heart problems, says the narcissist who causes them and continues to cause them, although he could self-heal if he was no longer a narcissist. Oh, I'm so sad. I don't have anyone, says the person who chooses to be alone in a digital world where you do not have to be quote unquote alone. You can have video friends all around the world. And locally, well, that's on you if you don't go to social events.
Yeah.
So it's not that she, meaning Laura here, does not have empathy or sympathy or feeling toward people. However, there's a fine line between caring about people and between discernment. And then there's a certain point where unconditional love is unconditional, which means no judgment. And like you said, the people show themselves to you time and time again. Hope all of them are us as well, correct? Everybody chooses their experience, though, and everyone's perspective is different. Therefore, we choose not to judge. Even without having emotions, we can still judge. We choose not to judge, to unconditionally love everyone. Violent, non-violent, everyone and everything as they are. Because in every moment, you are reinventing your whole reality. You are repainting the picture. And it is up to you what picture you would like to experience.
I would like to add, for those that don't feel that they can give unconditional love to those that have hurt them in the past, this is something that I have used myself. And it is taking that pain, taking that memory, taking that person, and then handing them back to source. Almost like they're a baby. So here you go. Your responsibility now. That's nothing to do with me. And I wish them well. I wish everyone well, including myself. That's a practical way.
That's good advice. Because there are a lot of difficult experiences to create, recreate, and to experience. This Gaia Earth session, reality, video game. And it's always good to send someone off with love and light, as you say. However, they are not your quote unquote problem. So don't make it your problem. And that's a very smart way to go about it. Give it back, give them back to source, whatever it for them is.
Yeah. It's the simplest, cleanest, most loving way, because you love yourself enough to let them go forever.
Yes. They're living their own journey, choosing their own path, moment to moment to moment. They might not be in that reality or simulated reality in another month or 10 years. They might still be in it in 20 years. That is not necessarily your business. And it's always good to send them off with love and light, whether they are in a body or an energy that is not in a body.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, thank you for the session today. We're actually coming up to 55 minutes. So I respect Laura's time and your time, everyone's time that has joined us today in this session. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. are there any final words that you would like to share before we complete today?
Just like Mr. Miyagi told Karate Kid, wax on, wax off. Basically, keep on going. Keep on going with your passion. Keep on focusing, which you do prefer. This includes your thoughts as well, not just reading on your phone, thoughts. And you will be shifting to the dimension of your dreams. Unconditional love to all.
So beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much. Laura, would you like me to count you back from 5 to 1 to help you land?
Yes, please.
Okay. 5 and 4. You're beginning to come back into your body. 3 and 2. You're beginning to tap your arms, your legs, and your body. And number 1, you're opening your eyes, feeling refreshed and energized, and any other beautiful energies that you wish to take with for your day.
The Greys really wanted to speak today. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Thank you. I really appreciate this space. I feel it's really important.
I do too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Some people said hello in the chat, but I had my eyes closed. Hello to everyone in the chat. We missed you. Thank you for listening. And this interaction is timeless. And we hope you're listening 40 years from now.
Yes. And taking all those wisdom gems and being able to apply it to your life whenever needed. Yeah. Beautiful. So before we now we're completing. How can people best find you, Laura?
Best find me is by Starseed Lolo Music. I'm a musician as well, and Starseed Lolo or Starseed Lolo Music on like almost every platform and music platform. And yeah. How about yourself, Jennifer?
You can find me at 108 Healing Senses, just how you found it to this broadcast, but you can find me on most social media platforms. And yeah, I have different ways of working with me, and as Laura's got some beautiful creations that she shared with the world, music and her books plural. I'm in the process of writing my first book about my transformational soul journey, and putting a lot of the wisdoms that I do share in the podcast that I speak in from my personal experience. So that's exciting. That's what I'm working on. That's my main project right now, and I'm looking forward to getting that finished.
Well, sounds good. Look forward to it. And I highly recommend Jennifer's Future Vision sessions. I got a healing that I didn't know I needed. So thank you for that. And look forward to next time.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thank you for joining us. And if you've got any questions that you'd like for next time, even just write them on the comments below in the video that you're seeing this in. It really helps. And give us a like and subscribe to our channels, because we've got lots of lovely goodies between us, and we want to help people have the best possible time on earth right now. So join us for the party. And yeah, that's it. That's all from me. Anything else you'd like to finish on?
I have a music EP album called The Starseed Template coming out June 15th on Sony. So check that out. I'll be doing posts. And have a lovely evening or morning, everyone, depending on where you're at.
Lovely. Thank you. And I look forward to seeing everyone back on the platform sometime soon.
All right. Thank you, Miss Jennifer. Bye, everyone. Or bye for now.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Love Team, as always.
Of course.
Yeah.